Good day, students. This video presentation contains explanations of the definitions of mathematics. Yes, last meeting we discussed the definition given to us by Ian Stewart. And today, this video will help you understand 5 more definitions which we will be discussing during our class session. However, let me just remind you, students, that the explanations provided in this video will only serve as your guide. You have to give your own explanation, specifically example, during our class discussion. And the definitions of mathematics that we will be discussing are all based in this diagram. So the first definition is that mathematics is an art. And when we say mathematics is an art in our language, it only means that ang matematika ay isang sining. And when we say sining, ang mga kilalang halimbawa ng sining ay kinabibilangan ng mga sumusunod. We have architecture and visual arts, including ceramics, drawing, filmmaking, painting, photography, and sculpting. Another example is literary arts, including fiction, drama, poetry, and prose. Nandiyan din ang performing arts na ang mga halimbawa ay dance, music, and theater, etc., etc. Napakalawak ng arts. Even yung pagluluto is an example of an art. Sports is an art. So, why do we say that mathematics is an art? Simply because many of the core skills in art and mathematics are closely related. Meaning to say, both disciplines, the art and mathematics, require spatial reasoning skills and the ability to recognize patterns. Sa mas maliwanag na paliwanag, artists and mathematicians use geometry in their work, including shapes, symmetry, proportion, and measurement. Kumbaga, if bibigyan natin ng specific example, narito ang ilan. Let's talk about this example. 1. Painting. We all know that painting requires knowledge of geometry so you can form the shape of the human body with a series of triangles and circles to form the parts of the face. And that is mathematics. When we talk about triangles and circles, that is why mathematics is an art. In sculpting, geometry involves in that way. Talking about music, we all know that music involves mathematics as well because in music, there is pattern in sound frequency. In fashion involves being able to measure the fabric. Why? So it is the right size for the wearer. And sometimes, fabric is also in repetitive colors and patterns. Not only yung sukat, yung tamang lapat sa katawan ng ating mga modelo, but even yung klase, yung design niya. That is mathematics. Sa sports naman, sports involve mathematics in the way now when you throw a ball, so you will be throwing the ball in a right angle or you're throwing it with a specific unit of force. So those are examples of the statement mathematics, or why is it we have stated that mathematics is an art. The next definition is that mathematics is a study of patterns. And when we talk about patterns are the heart of mathematics. And you all know that we live in a universe of patterns. We are surrounded by patterns. And if we are surrounded by patterns, we can study them. And studying pattern is an opportunity to us humans, for us to observe, for us to hypothesize, for us to experiment, for us to discover, and at the same time, once we are done observing, hypothesizing, experimenting, and discovering, we will be able to create concept or idea. And remember, by understanding regularities based on the data we gather, then we can predict what comes next. We can estimate if the same pattern will occur when variables are altered and begin to extend the pattern. Kumbaga, we can use and extend skills and knowledge of numbers, measurement, geometry, data collection and statistics, probability, and algebraic thinking in understanding those patterns. So since pattern is around us, we can see same type of pattern in the leaves of a certain plant, on the scale of the fish, and even on the snakes. But sabi nga, since that is an opportunity for us to observe, hypothesize, experiment, and discover, we will not be able only to find out that they are just a pretty characteristic of those creatures. We will be able to create. We will be able to find out that those characteristics are not just pretty, but they serve as their protection. So yun yung idea na mabubuo natin once we are done observing, hypothesizing, experimenting, and discovering those patterns. We will be able to come up with a new idea na hindi lang pala sila basta design, hindi lang sila basta part ng body. Meron silang purpose. So that is why it is said that mathematics is a study of patterns. Another, some lines are not all that they seem. What I'm trying to say is, look at zebras. Zebra stripes have patterns, and no two zebras are exactly alike. I'm talking about the patterns. Just like as human being, yung ating mga fingerprints, yun yung ating identity na hindi kailanman magiging identity ng ibang tao. So that applies sa zebras. Yung kanilang stripes, kada isang zebra ay unique. Walang dalawang zebra ang magtutulad. So, how are we going to describe it? So, yun lang ba will serve as their identity? No, not exactly. The stripes are the fingerprints of the animals, and that will serve as a distort or that mislead what the predators see. So, kumbaga, makakatulong yun sa kanila to protect themselves from the predators. So, we could investigate the effect of the different shapes in helping animals hide and keep them safe. Kumbaga, yun ang ibig kong ipasikwat. Even the natural world, our world is loaded with numeric patterns. For instance, from the regular 28-day lunar cycle, the annual cycle of 365 days, and a quarter days to the number of legs of the animals. Yes, we have 2 legs. Cows have 4, bees have 6, spider have 8, etc., etc. Kumbaga, by that, we can categorize. Kaya nga nagkaroon tayo ng iba't ibang mga kingdom. Because we study those patterns, etc., etc. So, as Ian Stewart noted, all patterns can be expressed by numbers. We can recreate nature's shapes by finding and plotting coordinates. Just remember that the problem is not lack of material to choose from studying pattern according to Stewart. The problem is lack of time. Just remember that we are living in a universe of patterns. It is around us and we can study them. And studying them will give us the opportunity to create more meaningful concepts. Marami na tayong na-discover and yet, mas marami pa tayong ma-discover as we go on. If we keep on doing, if we keep on observing, hypothesizing, experimenting, and discovering the patterns around us. That is why it is said that mathematics is a study of patterns. Next definition is mathematics is a language. Next video na natin.